This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. What I'm looking at today is the first episode of HBO's Watchmen, based on the Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons graphic novel. And I have to give Damon Lindelof credit. I wasn't a fan of Lost, and I hate it what he did with Prometheus. And don't even get me started on Star Trek Into Darkness. I hate it with a passion that is almost indescribable. But the thing is, in those instances, it wasn't necessarily Lindelof's fault. He participated in those enterprises, to be sure. But I can't blame him for Star Trek Into Darkness, as much as I would like to. It would be lazy to do that. I blame Roberto Ocri and Alex Kurtzman for Star Trek Into Darkness. Not so much Damon Lindelof. He wrote it with them, and he wasn't at the helm of it. So I don't necessarily blame Lindelof for that. Prometheus, don't blame Lindelof for that. It was originally written by, I should say the screenplay is originally written by John Spaihts, and in his version there were originally aliens in it. And Ridley Scott wanted to excise those elements, so he got Damon Lindelof to do it. Now, Damon Lindelof could have refused. Then again, it's a check. And Prometheus wasn't a bad movie, I just didn't like the direction it went in. So the most recent project Lindelof is working on is Watchmen for HBO. And having seen the first episode, it's interesting. It's only the first episode, so I can't judge how it's going to be, but it looks pretty intriguing. With the Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons comic / graphic novel, the Vietnam War was a crucial point where things begin to spin out of control. It revolved around an alternate reality, America. So events echoed our current timeline, but they veered off in certain ways. The Vietnam War was a point where events started to separate from what we know currently. And in Lindelof's Watchmen, I believe it happened in 1929, in which white people, angry at the success of this black aristocracy, if you will, literally wiped them out, wiped out their town. And this happens. This is a real event. It happened numerous times in American history when some white people, jealous at what black people were doing, literally wiped them out of existence, or at least tried. So this is an interesting thing, and how Lindelof has changed the crux of the story from the Vietnam War to a racial incident. And it's interesting. The first episode is really good, and Sister Night is just kind of awesome. I wanted to see her more in action though, but she looks great. It's well acted. This is like the year of Don Johnson, it seems, from Watchmen and Nights Out. The guy's just popping up all over the place, and he's awesome. I'm glad to see him. And I liked this first episode. It's doing different things than I would expect. And that's okay, because a lot of people talk about how Zack Snyder's Watchmen movie was so great, and it wasn't. If only because it was almost a verbatim execution of what's in the graphic novel. And if that works for you, fine, but I can read the graphic novel. I don't need to see it again, literally panel for panel on the movie screen. That's not difficult to do, frankly, and that's lazy, and that's unimaginative. No matter what you say about what Damon Lindelof is doing with this series, he's at least going to interesting places and doing interesting things. And that makes me look forward to episode 2. So far, liking where it's going. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Peace.